Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. I'm Kathy Barzal with D. Tomaso Real Estate, and I'm joined today with Anthony Bonelli of Bonelli and Associates. Thanks, Anthony, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kathy.
Anthony has been my accountant for many, many years, and he's helped me set up my business for success. Anthony, tell us a little something about yourself and Bonelli Associates.
Hi, I've been in business for about 14 years, and before that I worked in the corporate finance arena where I learned and honed a lot of my accounting skills, and not just taxes, but general accounting skills. And I've been using that for the past 14, almost going on 15 years now, when I talk to my clients to make sure that they're well prepared, not just for taxes, but just everyday business expense.
Awesome, that's great. And Anthony's helped me tremendously with my business, and for that I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Today we're talking about, there's with everything going up in the world, right? Our food and utilities and clothing, just expenses, overall expenses, living expenses. We have so many people you're hearing getting side hustles, right? They're getting second jobs. They have a full-time job, but they need to make ends meet. So what are some of the tax tips and some of the tips that you can share with the audience today on some of those expenses that they could write off?
Well, that's a good question, Kathy. Yeah, today's environment it's crazy. Prices are skyrocketing, and having that extra dollar in your pocket certainly helps out when it comes time just to live your everyday life. So the side hustle, the gigster, the freelancer is always a good way to take advantage of some expenses that you wouldn't ordinarily be able to take advantage of just being a W-2 employee. And that, when I talk to a lot of my clients who venture out, we talk about what's important, what type of business they're in, what they're doing, and what type of expenses they can take. One thing I caution them always on is that for a business expense to be taken, it has to be one, necessary, and two, ordinary. Those are two guidelines that the IRS says you have to meet. And it's important that you follow those tips. But some expenses that they generally can take would be things like auto expenses, rent, utilities, especially if you have either a separate space in your home, or if you rent a space outside of your home, outside of your home, meals for clients that generate new business. So there are a lot of different expenses, even going to legal expenses, phone expenses, things that you wouldn't, like I said, be able to take as a W-2 employee if you worked for somebody else. So these allow you to take those extra deductions and lower your taxes at the end of the year. Maybe you won't get a refund, but at least maybe you'll lower your tax obligations. And that, why better in your pocket than in the government's pocket. But what I also tell them is just talk to us first, make sure that your bookkeeping is up to date. And that's always important, because if you don't put things in the right spot when it comes time for taxes, it becomes a little bit messy.
Right.
So stay on top of your bookkeeping. I know I always tell you to do the same thing. And that's very important. As long as you stay on top of that, you won't miss any deductions, and you might find other things that maybe you overlooked in the past. So between bookkeeping and taxes, those are the kind of things I would say I talk to my clients about.
Awesome. I know Anthony saved me a lot of money over the years. I'm bringing to my attention in my real estate business taxes that I wasn't even thinking, or expenses I should say, that I wasn't even thinking about writing off of my taxes. And Anthony has shared those with me and saved me some money. So for that, thank you, Anthony. If you have any tax questions for Anthony or like to get in touch with him, his information will be at the end of this video. Thank you everyone today for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more tax tips from Anthony and some more real estate information. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you for having me.